I got one too, right? Malcolm, I got one.
We both got one.
We both got one. Two thin guys in the back of a boat fighting walleye. Hi, I'm Darryl Choronzey, and today I'm doing something a little different. Well, really not different. I fished with this guy before. It's Malcolm Leuenberger, and we're at Leuenberger's Fly-In Lodge and Outposts, right? And if you want to go fishing, we're a place that's got lots of fish, and I mean decent walleye, and you're talking probably 50 to 100 a day. Easy?
Yes,
easy?
easy.
It's Leuenberger's. And I don't know whether I want to get my hands in those teeth or not. Stick with us, because we're going fishing.
I'm going fishing all the time, and my baby's going fishing too. Bet your life that your sweet wife can catch more fish than you. Any fish will bite if you got the right bait. Now here's a little something that I'd like to relate. With my pole and my line, I'm going fishing. Yes, I'm going fishing. My baby's going fishing too.
Going Fishing with Darryl Cronzy is brought to you in part by Yamaha, when you want the best. Abu Garcia, for life. Berkeley Trilene, Canada's strongest fishing line. And by Montana's Cookhouse Saloon, fresh country cooking. Closed captioning of Going Fishing is brought to you by Fish Crisp, Canada's favorite season coating mix. There's a very special lake tucked away up in northern Ontario that draws Cronzy back year after year. Officially, it's named Kagianagami, but to those who fish it, it's simply called the Kag. Located approximately 75 miles north of Nakina, measuring 16 miles in length and 15 miles across, this 30,000-acre body of water is literally a fish factory. Stay with us as Cronzy enjoys a day of jigging with his good friend Malcolm Leuenberger, one of the owner-operators of Leuenberger's Fly-In Lodge and Wilderness Outposts.
Oh, here we
Another
go.
one, Malcolm?
Another one.
You're fishing right under the boat.
Right beside the boat.
You know?
That's the best place to be.
Well, the fish are so thick in here. You know,
Even on this overcast day, is really the best time to. Oh,
that is a nice walleye. That is a real nice walleye.
Yeah.
You know,
Overcast days, I find, are the better days really to fish for walleyes. We've got a nice little chop here, or a little bit of a breeze, but this is a nice one.
really nice walleye. Malcolm, what if the customers come up here, right?
Oh my God!
That was about a 4.5, 5 pound fish.
Yeah, it was a nice one.
Malcolm, you got your customers coming up here, right? How many fish can they expect to catch in a day?
With conditions being perfect, each individual person in a boat, if he fishes 6 hours a day, he should be able to catch 60, 70 walleyes, easy.
That's a lot of fish.
Well, we've been fishing here for, what, 10 minutes?
10 minutes, we've had 6 fish.
We've got 6 fish, so, you do the math.
Yeah. Well, and I see people a lot at shows and other places in the country, and they say, if you had a place to go for walleye, where would you go? And I'm not just going to say Leuenberger's, right? Because I can't afford to. There's a lot of good places in the north, but when I always include the Kag at Leuenberger's, and you've got your other lakes that are great too. But there's no reason why when you come up here you can't catch fish till your arms fall off.
No, actually, I tell a lot of people that a lot of the lakes up here that we have cabins and outpost cabins on is that you're going to get bored of catching fish.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, they sort of look at you, and then when they complete their trip and they come out and they say, well, you were right.
Yeah.
We got bored of catching walleyes.
3 hours of fishing and they'll sit back in the cabin for a day to rest up and go back and do it again.
And now for the Flambeau Tackle Selection of the Week. Today we're using an Abu Garcia C602 spinning reel with a Berkeley Lightning rod. Our line is 8-pound test Berkeley Iron Silk. Our choice of bait is the Berkeley Tricolored Power Grubs and Berkeley Power Minnows. And don't forget your Flambeau tackle box.
Mr. Leuenberger, what do you think?
Well, I shouldn't have told you to start fishing.
Yeah, right under the boat.
I'll be right with you.
It was kind of funny. I'm casting way out catching fish.
Good for you. I'll give you a chance.
But Malcolm said right under the boat, and I'm casting out, and as I'm bouncing it back, You get closer to the boat, you feel the more
Yeah.
bites, eh? Nice fish and nice fishing, Malcolm. I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
They are dandy walleye. You know, and people see this and they say, okay, are you guys really faking all this and you're catching these fish? No, it is this quick up here. It really is. It's almost a fish a cast. And these are nice walleye.
Yes, they are. That's
You know?
just pushing like around about 18.
It's a nice fish. If I wanted to, I could keep him for shore lunch.
You could keep him for shore lunch, yes.
Really?
But we're not going to yet.
We're going to wait?
We're going to wait.
Well, you're turning into a real conservationist.
Oh,
eh?
yes.
You know, it comes down to, too, you don't want to go to the north and rape the fishery. You can come up here and you can eat fish, right?
That's right.
And eat the little guys, put the big ones back. And Malcolm's got another thing. Really, they don't want you taking walleye home. And I'll be honest, I take my walleye home and I eat them. But I've seen so many people, they've been eating walleye up here, they take them home, they forget them in the freezer, and they end up getting thrown out. And that's true, you know.
Well, it's true, Darryl. Just on the simple fact that if you got 800 guests or 900 guests in a season, multiply that by 4 fish, that's 3,600 fish that you still have in your lake for reproducing purposes. So, I mean, it's all the conservation aspect. You know, you're keeping the fish in the lake, but there's nothing to stop the people from enjoying the walleyes while they're here.
And if you're really nice to them, you can take a couple fish home, but their policy is eat them at the lake and go home with the memories.
That's right. Always go home with the memories.
Well, it's always a memory fishing with you, buddy.
Thanks, Darryl.
What qualities combine to produce a successful northern tourist operation? Simply look to some of the finer outpost operations and you soon have the answer. For starters, there are the aircraft. The Leuenberger operation is equipped with both turboprop de Havilland otters and beaver float planes. There are also the outpost operations. Often anglers are given the choice of different lakes to fish. There you might just discover you're the only cabin on the lake. As is the case at Kag Lake operation, offering both American and housekeeping plans at the camp. How the cabins look on the outside often reflects the inside. You should expect plenty of dining space, comfortable bedrooms, electricity, and if possible, indoor plumbing.
Mr. Leuenberger, you got one?
I missed mine.
I got one. No, and you said it's a northern, right? Because the way he was running around like this.
Oh,
and
I got mine back.
You got yours? Look
Yeah,
at doubles.
yeah.
Hey, you said northern. No, that's a walleye. Look at
Yeah, look, he's getting smaller though.
Well, I'll tell you what. Let's see how big yours is. You got a neat fish there.
Well, this is Abu Garcia rod. It's the light action.
Yeah.
It's really got a lot of spring to it. So these walleyes up here, they like to fight. It sort of gives a lot of bend to the pole.
Yeah, well, you don't want a stiff rod in here anyways.
No,
you
you
want to be
don't.
able to feel the fish.
That's right.
Malcolm went out last night. It was raining, and I said, I'm staying in, right? I sat and did crossword puzzle. It started to come down pretty good. But when he came back, he said, the fish are on a real light bite.
Yeah, they are. Very just tapping.
And you don't want a stiff rod. You want a light limber rod.
So you can feel it.
But you want a graphite so you can feel it, you know. Going back for your meat, eh, buddy?
But just a little secret bait.
Going Fishing returns in a moment.
Here comes Malcolm. Gotcha. You know what? I could feel him playing with the tail on the power minnow. And we get this sometimes. All we're doing is casting out. Well, some of us are casting out. Some of us are playing right under the boat, right?
Well, no, I'm casting out about 8 feet.
Yeah, and I'm doing the 20-foot cast. But you can feel these fish actually coming up and grabbing the end of the power baits, you know?
Well, they're liking the power baits because if you take a look at it, he bit the tail right off of this one.
Hold it. What'd you have, a Captain America?
Yeah, Captain America.
Well, I'm playing with these power minnows and sucked it down. You know that?
Oh, he sucked that one down.
Sucked her down. I have to get my garlands out, I guess. Come on, buddy. I don't want to hurt you. You know what? Even the small ones like this, they're spunky. Buddy, what a hot spot. The problem is every rock in the lake is a hot spot.
That's true.
You know?
That's true.
Like Malcolm, honestly, I think if I put this down, and I could be wrong, okay? Let me just open this bail and let it fall. And I'm saying, you know, I'm casting, right? And I'm casting just to break the monotony. Like they're right under the boat, and they're under the boat pretty well everywhere in the lake, eh? Here comes Malcolm. The Lorentz says 11.3 feet, right?
11.3.
And we know it's accurate, so I'm going to take it down to 11 even, right?
One thing, Darryl, about walleye fishing is a lot of people don't feel the bottom.
Yeah.
And that's where your walleyes like to sit, right on the bottom. And if you're 6 inches, 8 inches up, you're going to get the odd walleye is going to come up and get it. But a lot of times you've got to get that bait right down to them.
Yeah.
And then they'll come and take a look at it. If it's higher, a lot of times, unless they're really on the feed, then they'll come up and take it. Other than that, they just...
I like coming up here, Malcolm, and I like jigging. Like when it comes to walleye fishing, there's nothing more that I like. And I tell people, you've got to feel bottom. You've got to get it down, right? You need a graphite rod. I don't care. I mean, the old fiberglass may have been nice, but they're nothing compared to the graphite. And you've got to get it down to where the fish are. The same thing you're saying, you know? And
True.
You get the feel. You've got to have good line. You've got to have sensitive line. And these fish aren't just coming out and grabbing you. You know, we're feeling them peck at the tails of the baits.
That's true. That's what they're doing right now. Is we're actually fishing just on the passage of a low front. So you know, the walleyes are a little bit inactive, and they're not really slamming the baits. They're just coming along and mouthing it. And that, like you say, you need a light line, you need a light rod to feel that action, that little tick on the end of your rod.
You know, talk about on bottom.
There you go.
Again, you don't have to cast a mile, and I love it's a nice fish. I like casting, right? But Malcolm's been just throwing it out 4 or 5, 6 feet, right?
4, 5, 6 feet. Let it go down to the bottom.
And you can do this anywhere on Keg, not just anywhere. I mean, you've got to go out and look for some structure. But honest to God, there's got to be a million spots on this lake that have got a lot of walleye.
Ooh, that's a nice one,
That's
Darryl.
a nice walleye. That is a dandy walleye, eh? You know, I come back from here, and people say, it isn't really that good. Oh, yes, it is that good. I mean, there's walleye, there's hundreds of walleye every day like this, eh?
That's right.
Can I do the Malcolm hole?
You sure can.
You know? And again, we're just compressing that stomach a little. We're not squeezing the fish at all.
He's just
resting.
laying there.
Right? Can I eat that one?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Smart anglers search out islands, shoals, and weed beds when it comes to successful walleye fishing. Those landmarks are many times easy to locate, but at other times it's necessary to pack along a portable fish finder to discover many of those all-important underwater upcrops that cannot be detected by eyesight alone. New portable units at times can be as valuable as the rods, reels, and jigs you depend on for success. Some in particular are compact, easy to use, and offer many different options.
Malcolm, right off the back of the Yamaha, buddy. I said to Malcolm, I says, I'm getting tired now of jigging right under the boat. So I cast it out. Now he's come right back up under the boat. Malcolm, how long have Leuenbergers been in existence? Now, before we go any farther, I knew your old man, right? And I can say your old man. Your father, right, was a great guy.
Right.
Now, you had to know Ernie Sr., right? He was from Switzerland, right?
Yes, he was, yes.
He came here. What did you do first? You got another fish?
I got a fish. Too.
He was a wrestler.
He was a wrestler in Switzerland.
He wrestled with Whipperbelly Watson here too, didn't he?
In Canada, in Orangeville, yes, down by Toronto.
Got out of Toronto. He wanted some fresh air. He works on the railway, right? I'm going to let this walleye go. But he gets a job on the railway, and he brings the family to Nakina.
That's right.
Right? And then he says, there's got to be something better in life.
Better in life.
He started originally guiding, right, with a canoe.
Yeah, and that was back in 1960.
Quit splashing me. You know, keep your fish on your side. That was in 1960?
Yes, it was.
So when did the first cabin go on a lake?
Actually, the first cabin would have been built in 1961 to 62.
61, 62?
Yeah.
I was with your dad the summer before he passed away, right?
Right.
You and I, that is a nice walleye.
That is a nice walleye.
But I was with Ernie Sr. the summer before he passed away. And we used to laugh about it. You know, he had a million stories, right? So he started in 62.
Yep.
Don't lose that fish. Is that going to dinner? No, I better go
No,
back.
I better go back.
Let's be conservationists, right? You've got how many lakes, and you've got a cabin on each one? How many?
Well, we have 16 lakes, Darryl, that got a cabin on each of those lakes.
Yep.
And out of those 16, we're on 12 of them completely by ourselves, just one cabin on the whole lake.
Okay. And you've got the Kag Lodge.
And plus the lodge here at Kagianagami.
And we're on the Kag or the Kagianagami right now. How many, if people want to come up here, you've got some of the cabins will handle, what, 6?
Anywhere from groups of 6 and groups even up to 12 in one of the cabins.
Some of those cabins.
You're right.
And they do have American plan, and myself personally, right, I like the housekeeping. I like to be able to get up in the morning and have fish, come in at lunch and have fish, and go to bed at night and have fish. I do a heck of a job for their conservation project.
That's right.
But honestly, if you're looking for a phenomenal place, it is Leuenberger's, right? And I've been to all your outposts pretty well, right?
Most of them, Darryl.
Most of them?
Most of them.
I love this one, right? www.leuenbergers.ca.
That's Leuenberger.
It's Leuenberger, isn't it?
Leuenberger.
It's Choronzey. If you really want to be smart, it's Choronzey, right? But we're in Canada now. It's Leuenberger's.
No S.
If you want great fishing, you got to get up. And one of the brothers, you've got to have him on a trip, right?
That's right. We got to get Ernie up here one time.
Buddy, I got to say, the fishing's great.
It has been great today,
I'm going
Darryl.
to put my power bait back in the water.
Company's been good, too.
Thank you.
And now for the Montana's Cookhouse tip of the week. Don't be afraid to experiment with not only colors, but also shapes of plastic jigs. Plastic grubs are lethal, but there will be times that plastic minnows, leeches, or odd-shaped bungees will be favored by hungry walleye.
Malcolm Leuenberger. Hey, this was fun.
It was a great day, Darryl.
You know, it shouldn't be said it's a great day. We're only out about 2 hours. We probably caught 200 walleye. And again, if you get the chance, you got to get up to Leuenberger's. Malcolm, let's just talk tackle real quick. And before we do anything, I want to talk about the baits because they're about to fall off my leg, okay? The folks at Berkeley sent me the Berkeley Power Minnow, and they said, you know, give this thing a try. You know, I was having a lot of success on the chartreuse, right? And I'm not going to give the full names, but it's the chartreuse. And I think this is the blue minnow or the blue speckled minnow, but it's blue. And then it's the clear gold, right? And these little guys caught a lot of fish.
They were doing really well.
And you said to me, I want to go with a twister tail. And you said the power grub, right? So I said, well, let's go with the fire tiger. And it's tri-colored. You've got the orange, you know, you've got that chartreuse.
Right.
And then you got that green.
And the speckles.
Right? And you did run some real minnows along with your Berkeley Power sometimes.
I did.
You guys in the north, right? You just don't want to get civilized.
Well, we like that added little live bait on all of our hooks.
Malcolm says to me, what are we going to use for rod and reels, right? And I says, look, let's go with the Abu Garcia Cardinal 602. And I said, it's a brand new reel.
It's a great reel.
No more drag at the front. Like, there's no drag up there. There's no drag at the back. It's nice, eh?
Yeah, it is really, really nice because you have your hand over it.
Yeah, and your hands are out of the way as far as that spool spinning, right? Mm-hmm. And you said, well, what are we going to mount it on? I said, well, the lightning rod. What do you think? And nice and limber. Again, it's graphite. You can feel those bites. Yeah, nice, and you can feel those bites, right?
That's right.
And then you said to me, you know, we've got a big lake here. You're bringing the right fish finder.
Well, definitely. I mean, fish finder is the most important part of a fishing boat, besides your tackle, because it's to find the structure where the fish are. Not to find the fish, but find the structure. You
know, a real good fisherman or a guy that's got a little experience can look at the shoreline and he can see the rocky points and he knows he's got to be off the rocky points. But a lot of times there's those humps underwater that you don't see them, right?
That's right.
And you said, what fish finder? And I says, well, I've got something that Darryl Choronzey sent me, right? And I said, it's brand new. And as a matter of fact, this is probably the first time that the X67C, which means color, right?
Right.
Has been used in Canada. And it's kind of neat. It's got that color screen.
It is. It was really neat.
We got the high-speed transducer.
Right.
We got to shoot all over the lake and find those shoals.
That was good.
Not
that I needed it.
Oh, experienced guide, right?
And there you go.
You know, I could say where you got all your tips from on this lake, but you know what? This is phenomenal. It's just starting a little bit of mist right now, and you promised me that you're going to show me some walleye fingers.
I'm going to show you how to cook up some nice walleyes.
Again, we have great rods, reels, line, fish finder, and the power baits.
And not only good company.
Good company, good guide.
Good company.
You're going to show me that you're a good cook.
Well, we're going to try.
Let's go and eat.
All right, guy.
Okay.
Going fishing returns with the Duquesne Gas Grill Shore Lunch.
My really, really, really good buddy, Malcolm Leuenberger. Hey, I've got to say, I've been up now 4 or 5 days. This is paradise.
It is. It's really beautiful.
My daughter hates this word, but I say phenomenal. There's no place that's more phenomenal than the keg. Before we do the cooking, and we're going to do the fish crust, and we'll talk about that, I've got some concerns. And you know, you've got to pretty well sit on the fence on this because you are an operator and you work with them. But you've got paradise right across the north from Petawa or Mattawa, you know, on the Ottawa River, all the way to Lake of the Woods. And I personally don't think the government's doing enough. And I know you don't want to say a lot, and a lot of people don't want to say a lot about it, but I can. I think the Ontario government has to get out there and start showing what's up here to the people in Southern Ontario, or what's here to the people in the States.
Well, you know, Darryl, we do have a beautiful country up here, and it's got to be advertised to shown as the prime place to go in the province of Ontario.
You know, Malcolm, it's so great up here. If I had my way, and say the Conservatives are in power or the Liberals are in power and the NDP will be in power, right? But if I had my way, they'd have their conventions up here to get their MPPs to see what's here, and then they can go back and say, hey, we've got to really start promoting the North.
Well, that's true, Darryl. I mean, we've got to get the people from Southern Ontario up here to Northern Ontario just to see what we have to offer up here.
Now, and I don't really want to get the ball rolling on this because we've got to eat some fish, right? But instead of the politicians spending all their money, you know, all these, you hear about this, their dining bills and their booze bills, right? Let them spend some of their money up in the North so they'll learn about the North and they'll get the people from the South up into the North. Now, before I get into the food, if you get the chance, go north. There's a whole different world.
That's for sure.
Okay, now we can talk about the food. What is this?
We're going to cook the fish tonight in fish crisp, Italian style.
Now, we won't really get into depth into the mixing and all that, but we got the fillets there, and they've already been coated. But you use 1 cup of water, right?
And 1 egg.
1 egg, and you beat it up, right?
Right.
You put the fillets in the water and the egg.
And then into the batter.
Rolled it in the fish crisp, right? Is it ready to go on?
It's ready to go.
Let's go with it.
All right, let's go. Looking good, Darryl.
Really nice, Malcolm. Malcolm Leuenberger. I think I've said this 50 times today, maybe 100 times. This is paradise.
You couldn't wait until we had this fish fry.
I said to you, I live for short lunch, especially when it's from walleye out of the keg.
Fresh.
We got the fish crisp, right? The Italian style, right? You've done it to perfection.
Well, again.
And I am going to try it, right? Can I just take a little bite? Just a little bite. Oh. Listen, if you get the opportunity, and I mean if you get the opportunity, don't pass up the chance to visit Nuremberg's Fly-In Lodge and Outposts. Did I get it straight this time?
You got it right.
This guy has got palaces all through the North. It is paradise. We're going to eat, and then what are we going to do?
We're going to go back out and do a little fishing, Darryl.
Maybe some brook trout.
Maybe some brook trout.
Let's go for it.
All right.
When traveling to Cag Lake, Darryl Cronzy and his staff fly WestJet Airlines. Special thanks to James Bay Frontier, 1-800-461-3766. For more information, contact Leuenberger's Fly-In Lodge at Wilderness Outposts. Going Fishing has been brought to you by Yamaha, when you want the best. Abu Garcia, for life. Berkeley Trilene, Canada's strongest fishing line. And by Montana's Cookhouse Saloon, fresh country cooking. Going Fishing would like to thank the following fine sponsors.
Going fishing.